Like I said, I don't know. I wasn't there. I don't know why they got a divorce. But what I do know is these are two irresponsible parents who are putting their daughter in the middle of... What is up, everybody, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Isatu. If this is your first time here, welcome. I like to talk about culture, relationships, dating, parenthood, all those things. And if you are a returning viewer, welcome back. Today, I want to talk about something that has been brewing on the internet streets of Senegal, which is the relationship of, former relationship of Mia Guisse, singer, and her ex-husband, ex-singer, Noface. I don't think he does music much anymore. So I wanted to talk about that because initially I was like, I don't know if I want to talk about this. It's their business. It's their marriage. I wasn't there, so I don't know what happened. But when it comes down to getting on social media and talking about something that should be kept private, in my opinion, then you invite the opinions of others. You invite the judgment of others, which I'm going to try my best not to judge, but inherently it's going to come out because I'm going to be speaking on things that I'm not 100% sure about. But it's my opinion, and usually opinions are closely linked to judgment. So with that being said, let's get into what I think about this whole situation. So when Mia Guisse and Noface, who I think his real name is Serigne Guisse, maybe Serigne Abdou Guisse, I don't know. Either way, if you haven't noticed, they have the same last name as me, which was always like, in the time that they were together, I loved it. Now I hate them both. I literally hate's a strong word. I don't want to use that. But now I'm just annoyed with the two of them. I think it's like clown one and clown two. And I have my reasons for why I say that. So let's start with Noface. In my opinion, I don't know that I can definitively say he's abusive. I don't know that I can definitively say that he hit her. I don't know that I can definitively say, I'm tired of saying that, but I don't know that I can stand on business and be like, yep, he definitely was abusive to her. Yeah, he definitely mistreated her during their marriage. But I can see it. I can imagine that maybe he wasn't the nicest throughout their entire marriage, that maybe he had some ways about him that were unbecoming or that were unsavory for Mia herself. And that's maybe why they divorced. I don't know why they divorced. Like I said, I was not there. You're going to hear me say that a lot during this episode. I was not there, so I don't know. But in the time that we're in today, where recently Noface came out with a video that he is addressing his daughter. I don't know how old she is, but she's not that old. I think she's less than 10. And he's talking about how he hasn't seen her in almost a year. He doesn't have access to her in the way that he would like. Now, for context, he's living in the United States of America, and his daughter and his ex-wife are back home in Senegal. So the seeing part is like, okay, I get it. But there's FaceTime. There's a lot of ways to see somebody without physically being in the same location as them. So that being said, he's saying he hasn't been able to see or talk to her very much or at all. I don't know which exactly it was, because then he kind of talked about how there was one time where she messaged him. There's a lot. But he's saying that basically he doesn't have access to his daughter the way that he would like, and that is really bothering him. And he made this super dramatic long video, 10 minutes, talking about, I hope you know that I love you. I want you to know your father never abandoned you. And whether I'm here or I'm not, if I die, just know that I love you. And like, honestly, I thought it was dramatic. And I thought that he could have maybe sent that video to a family member back home and had them get it to the daughter somehow. I don't know that it needed to come and be published on the internet, because now you're inviting people like me to give their 2 cents when they don't know what's going on. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to speculate and we're going to talk about it, because you invite that in when you post things like that. I don't think we needed to know all the intimate details of what's going on in you and your ex-wife's relationship and subsequently your daughter. But that's what he did. Now, following that, less than 24 hours later, there are these messages that leaked from Mia talking to a friend of hers saying she saw the video and she doesn't understand why he's doing it and yada, yada, yada. And so remember when I called them clown one and clown two? So clown one, Noface, putting that video out is clown behavior. I don't think that you are protecting your daughter, even though you say you love her so much and you want her to know these things. I understand. Maybe you feel like this is the only way you can do it, but I highly doubt that. Maybe you could have found another way to deliver the same message without inviting others in to talk about her, because now she's going to be the topic of conversation. She's a child. You need to protect her. And you as a parent, no matter how you feel about your ex-partner, it is your responsibility to protect whatever children come out of that marriage. So by posting that video, you're not protecting your daughter and you're just causing drama, and it's not a good look at all. So that's why he's clown one. Clown two, Mia, in my opinion, I don't think she is the sharpest knife in the box, because you as a celebrity, I'm assuming she didn't want that audio to come out. Now, maybe she did, but I'm assuming she doesn't. Like, let's go with that. You're sending an audio WhatsApp message to somebody about the situation. Somehow that person releases those messages because now everybody has heard it. Everybody's sitting there talking about what you said within those messages. And I'm just trying to understand, one, why cannot people not be good friends? If somebody sends you an audio message, why are you sharing it with the world? Clearly that person is not to be trusted. And the reason why I'm calling her a clown too is because, one, I think it's bird behavior to send these kinds of messages. I'm sorry, as a public figure, as a whatever, I've seen plenty of times when people come together, drug lords will come together and just talk for 10 minutes about something that could have been said on the phone. But you know why? Because you don't want any traces of it. You don't want those things out. If it's something that if it got out, it would be detrimental to your reputation, to your character, maybe you meet in person with the person, yes, and talk to them about it. You don't send audio messages where you're saying all these things. And in the audio messages, she's talking about how she's paying over 3 million CFAs, which is about $6,000 every year for her daughter to go to school. She's doing this, she's doing that. And I just want to say, number one, in the audio messages, she's also talking about how he sends about 200,000 CFAs, which is about $400 every month that the court obliged him to pay. So basically child support. And she's saying it like it's nothing, which bothered me because that's something. I don't know about y'all. I'm in the U.S. and $400 a month is a lot of money. And I'm not saying that he couldn't send more for his daughter, but we don't know what he's doing. We don't know what his income is like. We don't know we don't know anything. So, and even if he had a lot, I just don't think $200,000 CFAs, $400 a month is negligible. I don't think it's enough for you to say he's not doing anything for his daughter, because he clearly is. Now, if you choose to send your daughter to a school that costs $3 million a year, that's on you. Okay? If you choose to buy these shoes for your daughter, if you choose to do XYZ for your daughter, that's on you. So don't shame his $200,000 because you feel like you want your daughter to have a higher quality of life. You guys have divorced, so the standards are now very different. And I just want to be honest and say this really quickly. 200,000 CFAs for a child in Senegal is a lot of money. It's a lot of money. I do not want to glaze over that. It's a lot of money. So I'm not even going to sit here and take his side and be like, oh, he's a great father, he's this, he's that. But if he's doing that, he's doing something. And we have to give credit where credit is due and call a spade when it's time to do so. So I really did not like her trying to paint the picture of, I do everything for my daughter. All he does is send $400 a month and that's it. That's a lot of money. And that's a lot more than some of these people out here are receiving for child support every single month. Back to why they're clown one and clown two. They're not protecting their daughter. By being out in these internet streets, by being in these WhatsApp groups or these WhatsApp messages, sending these audio messages, trashing one another, you're not protecting your daughter. And I want to talk about him first, and I'm going to get to her because I think they have shared responsibility in this entire mess. So him talking about, I've never said anything negative about her and blah, blah, blah. If you follow the story, you know what's going on. So I'm not going to relay everything that's happened because a lot has happened. But him saying that he doesn't trash her, he wishes her well, he this, he that. You putting that video out and subliminally calling her a bad mother, or subliminally saying that she's not living up to the expectations of a good ex-wife, that is not supporting her. That is not protecting her. That is not suturaling her. It's just not. You're indirectly taking jabs at her by telling your daughter, I hope you grow up to value yourself. I hope you grow up to cover yourself. I hope you grow up to dress modestly. So indirectly, and we've all seen it, you're saying that she doesn't do those things. Therefore, you just hope she doesn't turn out like her mom. Let's call a spade a spade. That's really what it is. You hope that she doesn't turn out like her mother. You cannot convince me that he is not vengeful, that he is not remorseful, that he has lost this woman. And he's trying very desperately to have any piece of attention from her. There was a live that he joined, which I'm glad he did, because they were on there trashing him, and I just don't think you should do that. They had his picture up and they were talking shit about him on a TikTok live. He got on there and was like, what was said about me? What did y'all have to say? Let's put it all on the table right now. So I'm glad he did that. But even there, he was like, bring Mia on the live, like bring her on so we could talk about it. And it was such a desperate attempt, like, oh my God. He was like, please bring her on so we could talk about it. Please bring her on so she could deny this or affirm this and da-da-da-da-da. But really what he wanted to do was he wanted to talk to her. It was very obvious that he was desperate to get any attention, even if it's bad attention from Mia. So that's him. Now her, I'm not even gonna lie, she puts on this act like she's a total victim. And we all know there's no such thing as a perfect victim. Y'all were married. Anybody who's married, anybody who's been married knows that y'all have plenty of material to work with when it comes to trashing one another. Because even if you've been together for 1 year, you've had ups and downs. You've had moments where this person is not their best. This person has not lived up to your expectation. So you can come out and trash him. He can come out and trash you. But like I said, that would not be in the benefit of the child, right? So for her to do these interviews and claim that she was, and I'm saying claim because I wasn't there. Like I said, I was not there. I don't know what happened. But for her to claim that he was abusive, that he hit her, he did. And when she came out and said that, everybody believed her. Pretty much everybody believed her. There's some people who are pretty skeptical, and I'm not going to lie. Until I see proof, I'm going to be Switzerland. I don't know. Could I conceive it? Maybe. Because does he give off some weird vibes? Yes. But do I know for sure? No. But for her to come out and say, he did this to me, he did that to me, he did that to me, interviews after interviews, songs, you're sending subliminal messages to him. But then you get on this audio with your friend and you say, my daughter has questioned me about him and I've tried to wash any negative image of him away and teach her that this is her father and like reinforce the message that he's a good guy and she should have a positive image of him. But when you're sending subliminal messages, when you're doing interviews talking about how he's an abuser, and I'm not saying she shouldn't do that. I'm saying the messaging needs to be consistent. If you're trying to show your daughter that this is her father no matter what, and you don't want her to have a negative view of him, maybe you shouldn't say anything negative about him in the media as well. Maybe y'all should handle it privately. But if you, like for example, me, if God forbid, if I had a husband that was beating me and we had a daughter together and we separated, I might just be like, your daddy's a woman beater. Your daddy beat me. And thus, please look out for these signs. And thus, this is what you should learn from the experience. This is what I don't want to happen to you. So I'm going to tell you the truth about him. Now, you can love him however you want because that is your father at the end of the day. But that's what happened to me. That could be a message. But to say that you want to paint this great picture of him with your daughter, but then you get out on the media and say these things about him, it doesn't align. And I really think that she needs to be a little bit smarter because what I've seen in this whole situation is he is 10 steps ahead. He's very calculated. He's very good with his words. He's very good at trying to portray this image of I am this father who's been beaten down and been kept quiet for years and never said anything negative about my wife, and now I just want to see my daughter. So that's the image he's portrayed. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. I wasn't there. But he's done a really good job of garnering support from certain people who are starting to be like, well, Mia, when you guys worked together, you did used to dress more modestly. You did used to have more respect. You did used to have more value. Now that you guys are divorced, we hear a scandal left and right with either what you're wearing, the songs, the lyrics, the this. Like, he's done a really good job of portraying himself to be this person who was trying to put her on the right path. And she just was, she wanted to be a free bird and do whatever she wanted to do. Like I said, I don't know. I wasn't there. I don't know why they got a divorce. But what I do know is these are two irresponsible parents who are putting their daughter in the middle of their mess. And Senegalese people are messy. Senegalese people are nosy. Senegalese people are, we're a lot of things. But if you do not put your business out there, we don't have much to say. The minute you come out to the media, you come out to social media, you come out to, having bad friends who are going to leak your audios, the minute you start engaging in those kinds of activities, you pull your daughter in as the ultimate victim in all of this. And I really hate that for her. She's young. She doesn't need all this drama, all this messiness, all this debauchery. And it's up to her parents to stop this nonsense. If he's being a manipulator, if he's playing the victim, if he's not being a good man, it's up to him to get his shit together and stop it, because he's hurting his daughter. If she's trying to portray that she was a perfect wife and she was caged and she was abused and she was this and she was that, then she needs to stop reinforcing the same message of he hit me, he beat me, he this, but then on the side, oh, but I don't have any animosity against him. If somebody hits you, you can have animosity against them. You don't have to try to portray that you're not holding anything in, or that you're this or that, or that you're telling your daughter that everything is okay. No, it's okay to have honest conversations with kids, especially as they're growing up and they're going to start seeing these things on social media. So with that being said, that's what I wanted to share about this whole situation. There's a lot more that I want to say, but I want to make sure that I'm not being too emotional in how I'm speaking. I really wanted to just look at what's been put in front of us in terms of interviews, in terms of things that they've said. When it comes to their marriage, I will keep saying it. I wasn't there. I don't know what happened. But when it comes to the things that they're putting out on their social media, the things that they're writing in blogs, the things that they're putting on Facebook, the things that they're putting in songs in terms of lyrics, taking jabs at one another, they need to stop. This foolery, this circus behavior is not healthy for their child. It's not healthy even for them, because I feel like instead of living your life and moving on after a divorce, you're constantly battling to prove that you were right to leave the marriage. You were right to want your freedom. Marriage can happen. Divorce can happen. It does not have to be ugly, especially when you have children involved. So I really hope that they take a step back, both of them, and realize that this nonsense that they're spewing, this battle that they're trying to have and have people pick sides and this and that, the ultimate loser will be their daughter. And that sucks. It sucks to live in a place like Senegal where they're not going to let you forget anything, anywhere in the world really, but Senegal is really good at that. So they're not going to let her forget, like, they're going to remind you every single day that your parents were acting a fool online. And that's just not a good look for her. So you can pay $3 million a year for your daughter to go to school. And you can say that you're my whole world and I really love you. But if you're not willing to let bygones be bygones, maybe not respond or provoke this person in your songs, in the things that you're doing for the sake of your daughter. And if you're not willing to maybe buy a ticket and go home and see your daughter, or not put a video out on the internet to say I haven't seen my daughter in a year, like, come on, people, come on. You guys sound very, very lame. And that is the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please let me know your thoughts and comments down below about this whole situation. What did I forget? Like, comment, share, subscribe, all the good things, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.